When I think back to the first time I met Mark, I struggle to understand how everything became so complex and tangled. He was the son of our family friend, someone I'd felt securely by my side for years, someone who had always been part of our lives. Every time I encountered Mark, it felt like nothing more than a friendly meeting. My gaze towards him was always friendly, innocent. At first, when I noticed my feelings changing, I tried to suppress this attraction. But this forbidden, inner pull grew stronger each passing day. Then, one day, I realized Mark's gaze toward me had changed too, and a completely different feeling emerged within me. He looked at me in a way he never had before. The depth in his eyes concealed an unspoken secret. In those glances, there was something undefined, something neither of us could name. Denying this attraction was becoming increasingly difficult. Each time our eyes met, the world around us seemed to disappear, leaving only him and me. When Mark was near, my heart would start to race, and my breath would quicken. I kept reminding myself that I needed to be logical, telling myself this attraction, this forbidden feeling, couldn't be real. But no matter how hard I tried, Mark's gaze stayed etched in my mind. Then came that night. That evening, we were alone, with no one around us. The very existence of this opportunity stirred an indescribable mix of excitement and fear within me. On one hand, I was trying to ignore the attraction between us, yet on the other, I couldn't stop myself from being pulled in. Feeling Mark's presence beside me changed the meaning of everything. My heart was beating so fast, I was afraid he'd hear it. Each time I looked at him, a desire arose within me like I had never felt before. Yet, at the same time, that desire scared me. When our eyes met, it felt like the world had stopped. For a moment, everything was so quiet. It was as if all sounds had vanished, leaving only our breaths. As Mark took slow steps towards me, the pull between us became inevitable. At that moment, I realized the forbidden, tension-filled bond between us could no longer be denied. When he touched my face, I felt the warmth of his fingertips on my skin. This sensation caused my emotions to overflow. I was completely lost in that moment. My logic pushed aside, leaving only my feelings. Mark's hands, as they moved gently across my face, pinned me in place. The light and delicate touch of his hand sparked a warmth inside me that I'd never felt before. I closed my eyes, held my breath, and tried to stay within that moment. In that instant, there was only Mark and me. His fingertips lightly traveled across my face, and my heart pounded so hard, it felt like it might burst. This moment was perhaps one I would never forget for the rest of my life. When Mark locked his gaze into mine, I felt a bond form between us, an unspoken connection that conveyed everything. No words were needed. In that moment, beyond everything else, I felt we existed in a world that belonged solely to us. One by one, the walls within me came tumbling down. When I saw his lips drawing closer to mine, my breath completely caught. When his lips met mine, a wave of warmth spread through me. It was a feeling deeper than anything I had ever experienced. All my thoughts faded away. In that moment, there was only the peace and thrill of being with him. Mark's hands slowly roamed my face and hair. Each of his touches increased the desire within me. As I felt the softness of his hands, my emotions began to overflow. The sensation left by his fingers on my skin burned like a flame. As his hands gently wandered through my hair, I felt a deep attraction. In that moment, I was immersed in all the excitement and intensity that being with him brought. For a brief moment, when Mark's hands slowly settled on my shoulder, we didn't take our eyes off each other. Our gaze held so much that words weren't needed to understand everything. This was more than physical closeness. There was a deep, mysterious bond between us. It felt as if, for a moment, our souls had merged. This was a memory I would carry with me for the rest of my life. When that moment ended, a complex tangle of emotions filled me. I felt both happiness and the weight of what we had just experienced. This forbidden bond between Mark and me was entirely different from anything we had ever shared. That moment was unlike anything else I had experienced with him. When we finally broke our gaze, it felt as if an unspoken, silent pact had been carved into our hearts. The effects of those moments lingered in my mind for days. The look Mark gave me, the expression on his face, the feelings he awakened in me. Everything remained fresh, as if it had all happened just yesterday. Carrying the weight of these forbidden emotions was far from easy, but freeing myself from the impact of those moments was even harder. Part of me longed to relive those moments with him, while another part wanted to keep them safely hidden as a secret. Mark had left an unforgettable mark on my life. The moments we shared brought both deep happiness and a complex sadness within me. This forbidden pull was a turning point for both of us. One part of me wants to keep the memory of these moments alive forever. The other part knows just how heavy the emotional burden of these feelings truly is. The connection I shared with Mark may remain a cherished memory for the rest of my life. These moments reminded me of life's unexpected surprises and the complexities of human emotions.
As these moments replay in my mind, I carry the traces of everything that happened that night. The bond between Mark and me will remain, perhaps leaving a lasting, indelible mark on my life. Alongside the happiness these feelings for him have given me, the weight they place upon my heart will always be there too. No matter how special and unforgettable the moments we shared may be, the fact that they are forbidden leaves a certain fragility within me. Every time I recall these memories, I feel the responsibility that comes with this forbidden desire, the constant turmoil in my heart. Years from now, I wonder how I'll remember these moments. Will I even want to relive the special times I shared with Mark? Perhaps it's best if they remain simply as memories, drifting with the flow of life. These memories will remind me of life's unexpected surprises and the complexity of emotions. They will remain deep inside, hidden in the most delicate corner of my heart. One day, perhaps what we shared will only live on in my mind, a story left untold, a silent memory meant just for the two of us. As it all comes to an end, I feel that what I shared with Mark has been a turning point in my life. These moments have shown me the depth of feelings one can experience, and how those feelings can surface in the most unexpected times. Sometimes, perhaps, the most unforgettable moments are the ones we never share, the ones we keep hidden in the deepest parts of our hearts. These memories are both a source of happiness and a burden that I will carry within me. Maybe what Mark and I shared will never be spoken of again, will never be told to anyone, but this secret will live on within me forever. This forbidden moment warms me inside, yet leaves a deep mark on my heart that will fade into eternity. Throughout my life, I will carry the emotions these moments have stirred within me, but perhaps the greatest secret is simply being able to keep each memory just as it is.